Am I live? It says I am live. Am I live? Hello? Oh, let me make sure. Sorry I'm late to you. It took me a minute. Am I live? Oh, there we are. Alright. Okay. Hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live. I am finally here. Tweets are sent. Oh, Sinram is sick? I'm sorry for Sinram. Well, Sinram, I hope you feel better. Hello, Purple Group. Hello, Cornbread. Hello, Austin. Taco Master. William Ellman. Oh. Well, thank you. Any super chat is appreciated, William Ellman. Thank you for telling me either way. Classic Cameron. Hello. Man, I just chugged a drink of water and went down the wrong pipe right before I was like, finally, we're starting the show. And I was like, bleh, bleh, bleh. Hello, Jordan Slothful Pup. Hello, everyone. Medela Butterfly, what's up? Sorry it is so late. A little later than I anticipated. But, hello, Dan. How's it going? Alright, let's switch over. Hello, I'm in the kitchen. How are you doing? Let's go up a little bit. Oh, let's go. There we go. We got Kong right here. New Kong that my kids got. And yeah. Oh boy. Okay, I might need to drink some water. Anyway, how's everyone going? How was your Christmas break? It's been 2 weeks since we've had a show. I thought I said Zane Powers. Well, I'll say it twice. Zane Powers. I think it is. I'm going to get it cut on Saturday. Everything trimmed up. I kind of like it, but I guess it's getting too much or whatever. But, yes. Oh, Norbert's here. Hello. What is up? All right. We do kind of have kind of a jam-packed show and 2 segments. One being Mickey's The Barn Dance, which just went in the public domain. And then, I like that Jim in the kitchen cooking up the first string of the year. I like it. And then, Wallace and Gromit's, the close shave. I'm sorry, Chan Talks More Movies, but I'm also glad that you got that tip. But yeah, I had a good, Christmas. Oh, really? Is he behind me? Same Powers will just pop. That would be crazy. I would freak out. What was I going to say? Oh, Austin. Breaking news. Wait, is this true? Hold on. I didn't know about this. I didn't know. Is this... Sir, not that I don't believe you. Hold on. Hollywood Reporter. Where was this? Is this... hold on. I should just enjoy the super chat and not be searching everywhere. I do not see it. If someone could send me a link, that would be appreciated. But, breaking news. Steven Spielberg's new movie will star Liam Neeson, Sam Neill, then everyone goes, who, the guy from Jurassic Park? Oh, from Independence Day? No, that's Jeff Goldblum. No, the guy who was in Merlin. Cheers to you. And the super... Okay, so... My energy drink clue is not super... It's not real, Austin. Whatever. It was funny. I'll read... damn it. Spielberg will star. That would be cool. I would be down. I mean, they're both in... Liam Neeson's Hail to There. Goes, who? The guy... No, that's Jeff Gold. The guy who's in Merlin. Oh, Marilyn. Oh, man. You know what? I saw that when it came out, the movie, but I never saw, it was a show, too, right? Anyway, thank you for the generous super chat starting the show. But yeah, my energy drink clue was not... It was just... I just got the Swedish fish. I was going to do a different energy drink, but it's sort of a rough day, so I was like, I need, a real good energy drink if we're doing it tonight. Cheers to you. And I was right, because this is starting late anyway. Thank you very much, Austin. That was very cool of you. Okay, I feel really stupid. I'm sorry. Because I know he was casting, so I was like... Whatever. Thank you. Thank you for that. Um. Yeah. Let's see. Christmas was cool. I saw Wicked. That was good. I enjoy that. I don't know if I'll do. I was thinking of doing like a mini review type thing for it. But I think I don't know. It's fine. It was a good movie. I liked all the. It is interesting how much both. I was like, oh, I can see why people said, what was it? Frozen was like it because I already knew the defying gravity, let it go thing, but it's like, man, there's a lot of like. Elphaba is very Jean Grey coded. I'll say that. Um, I did not see Christmas with Cranks, but and I saw Sonic 3 at this cool theater called the Kent, which was I need to post like a picture of their. They had like anyway, they had a lot of arcade games. It was a fun theater. I'm glad I went. And we went to the Empire State Building. We brought the King Kongs. You saw my Instagram. We brought the King Kongs to the other King Kong. Was that an amazing life? But this is the because he has the robot arm. I got it for my kids for Christmas. That and the pink Godzilla. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I should really just start because we're late. But I like to have some stuff going on. Let's see. It was a good Christmas. I had some time off. I got to hang out with everybody. That was wonderful. There's so much going on today. I knew this part was going to be rough. But I watched a lot of movies, got to chill, had a good Christmas. Watched White Christmas. Yeah, my ears perked. Oh yeah, you should. If you're in Brooklyn, you can go. All right, let's just get into it. I don't have any. I get some video stuff. Let's see. Throwbacks this week was Lion King 2019. And then tomorrow will be the Skeleton Dance because that's going in the public domain. That will be part of the public domain talk, but I've obviously already reviewed it. So that will be a throwback from the beginning at like 2020, 2019 movie crap. And then I think tomorrow will be the Wrong Trousers since it's Wallace and Gromit Day. And then I think Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim, if everything goes well. But we'll see about that. I definitely think Wallace and Gromit will come out this weekend. But the way things are going, who knows? Wait, which movie is low-key fascist? Wait. Nobody. I'm curious. What movie was he talking about? Are we talking about Christmas with the Cranks? I'm a little lost here. We're talking about Wicked. I think it's criticizing that, but I don't know which. I would like to just know which movie you're talking about, Taco Master. I'm sorry. What was the other thing? Oh, I wanted to thank you guys for one of the throwbacks I did was Goldfinger, which it's criticizing it. Oh, Cranks. I don't know that movie, so sure, why not? I wanted to thank you because when I posted the Goldfinger thing, I actually thought there'd be like more articles like, oh, it's this anniversary because it came out around Christmas and it's this major movie and all this stuff. And none of that happened, but you guys gave it, and it came out, it was from when my channel was smaller, and it actually had identical to its first couple opening days through the throwback. So it was actually kind of cool to have a little resurgence. So thank you guys for kind of showing me I could do different things with the throwbacks that I want to do, not necessarily always, this thing is being brought up sort of thing. So thank you for being a cool audience and giving me that freedom. I was pleasant because I was like, this is going to bomb and nobody's going to watch it. I get it. It's cool. I wasn't like, and I was like, oh, you were wrong, Jim. You should be more hopeful. So that made me feel good. And I like that video. Hello, K-Master. I think you're Taco Master. I don't know about all that. I think you're reading into this movie too much. All right. Let's just do the thing and get into it because there's a lot and we have 2 segments and we're already late. So, is there anything else that I don't think there is. I think I haven't seen Nosferatu yet. That I would, and I did shoot the 70s review. I'll see if that comes out. I don't know. All right. So this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans. Either through Super Chat, where I'll drink this beautiful Ghost Swedish fish drink. I know it's not this. You can actually touch the scales on it. It's kind of neat. I didn't notice that. I probably did, but it just hit me now. This and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show where I'll drink the energy drink, or through my Patreon where you get all sorts of exclusive stuff. If you liked my Sonic filter on the subway thing, there's a longer one with all my other attempts, which did look cool. I thought they looked cool, but they weren't like that great. So you get those and like some billboards I was doing because I wanted to do a Sonic short, and I thought it was going to be the billboards like I usually do, and it turned out to be what it was. But all my other attempts, when Sophie, I let her mess around with it, filming me and all this stuff. So it'll be, if you are a patron, that's a cool one, as well as the movie revote winners and all that, and the movie revotes there. But anyway, Robert Egger, most metal director. Oh wow, you saw Nosferatu twice? Damn. You know what? He's up there. I feel like Herzog would be the most metal. Or, you know what? I'll just give it to him. Cheers to you, Taco Master. You also get all sorts of awesome stuff with postcards, exclusive videos like my commentary series. There'll be another one of those out soon. You get access to my public access show. All sorts of cool stuff like that if you're a member of the Patreon. Link is in the description down below. And thank you very much for doing that. However, if you're just watching this, there was a brawl. Wow, that's crazy. Please tell me about that, Austin. Where are we? But if you're just watching and hanging out, that's really cool. And if you can't financially do so, just like this video or watch it or subscribe. You get all sorts of updates and things like that. I know, that's why I said Herzog. Also, if you like the community, that's right here, the awesome chat right next to me. You should join the Discord, which is very awesome, by the way. If you like this community, you can hang out there 24 hours a day, where I have all sorts of stuff, like the general chat where I ask them, what do you want me to talk about movie crap? There's movie crap discussions. There all sorts of cool awesome discussion places. There's licensed playing cards where I need to post these ones. They do movie watches once a week, which I'm not sure what they're doing this week, but it's a really great community. It's the Discord I'm most active in. There's the Ask Jim channel if you want to ask me a question. Also, all sorts of cool stuff like that. So if you like this community and would like to join, I highly recommend you do so. Sorry. Also, I've got a TikTok. Well, I guess it's existing still. Instagram, both of them, Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Facebook fan page. All of that is linked in the description down below. All right. Who has it? I have not really seen Shadow of the Vampire. I would like to, and I was thinking about maybe I'll do that. Certain ones I want to do for Halloween. We'll see if I get to. Hey, hello, Rat Boy Mickey. Well, we'll get into Robert Eggers, but first, before I really get into it, Nuki? What's Nuki? I don't know what that is. Am I missing something here? Nuki Miko? I don't know. Oh, that's gross. That someone's touching someone else. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna do a quick thing on an ET knockoff. A quick thing on Spiderman, the cartoon and other Spider-Man news, and then we'll just do a long thing on public domain, just to be clear. All right. So first off, the trailer for the Disney Plus show Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man dropped. When I originally saw these character designs, I thought, wow, this is going to be really cool. I'm really excited for this show. I'm hoping, I was very hopeful. I thought it looked really neat when I saw the designs, and then the trailer dropped, and then I was pretty disappointed. I don't like their kind of CGI looking thing that they do in What If, and this seems like that, but worse. The writing seems fine. The movement is okay, but design-wise, I'm not joking. It's like probably one of the worst I've ever seen for a Spider-Man cartoon. Like it is really, really bad. I was kind of shocked at how fucking ugly it looked. Probably I was saying like it looks like I think the cartoon Ralph Bakshi worked on uh, was probably better in terms of design, not movement obviously, but it's just like I was like, wow, you guys like really dropped the ball. Like what the fuck is this? It was just really ugly looking, and I also don't understand like I think Spectacular like the design was very of its time, but it got it to work for it. But this one was just whoa. I don't know. I was kind of shocked because the other thing is like I don't understand like what the purpose is of the show. It's like where we get to X-Men 97, like they're taking something that the animation was never that show is never known for its animation. That show's far more of a writing over animation, but they got that animation to work and they got it improved. But with Spider-Man, there's such a legacy there, especially like, I mean, I'm not even going to bring in the Spider-Verse stuff, but like all the other cartoons, you'd think you'd want to bring it, and they sort of didn't. I am noticing like when we do comic book cartoons presently with animation, the design, if it's not My Adventures with Superman, it looks just like butt or something. It's just like some of the ugliest, boring, just like Creature Commandos was maybe better, but I didn't really particularly love that. It's like, let's not get too cartoony, let's not get too weird with it. It's just like it kind of reminds me of the movies themselves, where it's like we can't mess with the cinematography, we can't mess with the design, and we kind of get into this like bland blahness. And I was pretty disappointed, to be honest with you. I thought it was one of the worst animated show trailers I've seen in a little bit. So I will check it out. I'll watch a full episode at least. I'll do like a short review thing, but I was really, really let down by that. I'm sorry. It was like, I know people, maybe I'm being too harsh, and I know they changed the design, but like, I don't understand what they were doing. I reviewed Adult Swim Yule Log 2, Nick Grand. But I just don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. Like, what was going on there? I just didn't get it. I just not impressed. I don't want to just be shitting on that show too much. I just don't think it's like, to me it's like, if we're gonna have all this stuff, like let's like have more fun with the design and stuff. And like I do feel like we could get a little weirder. You have the success that you could really mess with it. So I agree with the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim. It's not a great thing. How many people do you hope were fired for it? I don't know if that many people. I mean, I don't know what happened with the design thing. I'd really like to know what happened there, because why was it pitched to us one way and then they completely rehauled it? But man, Marvel Animation, like what the fuck is going on over there? But I hope nobody lost their jobs. Unless their job was to pick a bad animation style, which I guess then they succeeded in their job because it wasn't okay. Sorry, I feel like everyone's like, "Whoa, Jim, chill." All right, cheers, Tuesday Paris. I'll move on. What was I going to say? All right. So some Spider-Man 4 Beyond movie news. So here's what we're hearing right now. It seems to be. I wouldn't even say it's a rumor. It's more just like the studio doesn't have a. Sorry. It's been a crazy day, so I should not. I don't know. I will watch it. I'll give it a fair shake, but I'm not happy right now. But I don't think it. Well, I was trying to. Whatever. Okay. Sorry, Zane Powers. Here, I'll redo that. How many people do you hope were fired for it? All of them. All fire everybody. So for Spider-Man 4 and Beyond, here's what we sort of know through various podcasts and reporters and stuff like that, is that Sony does not want to do 2 Spider-Man movies in 1 year, meaning they don't want Beyond and Spider-Man 4 to come out the same year. However, most people are hearing that they would come out in 2026 or 2027, and Beyond would sort of maybe, since Spider-Man 4 keeps getting delayed for, Tom Holland's doing Nolan's Odyssey, and like they don't have a script yet, and like where does this fit in, and how does it fit in the MCU, and all these things they like don't really know. So Beyond might come out in 2026, 2077, but we'll see. Or they could, we could see even one of them comes out in 2028. We really don't know which way it's going to go right now, but apparently Sony is committed presently to not having them both in the same year, which I think Into the Spider-Verse came out in 2018, and then Far From Home came out 2019, and then Homecoming was that 2017? Jeez. So apparently that's what's going on. The thing with Andrew Garfield, I'm gonna add fuel to the fire. He said, "I'm committed to a Spider-Man 4, but probably no one will believe me because how he is with that stuff. But I'm gonna throw a wrench in this whole thing. I don't believe he said which Spider-Man 4. I don't believe he said whose Spider-Man 4 that was. Is it Tobey's? Is it Tom Holland's? That's interesting. It's not his Spider-Man 4. He didn't get the Spider-Man 3, but there's 2 Spider-Man 4s he could be in, and I could see it going either way. That's all. I'm just throwing that out there. He didn't specify, because I have not heard any. I know Sony wants him in MCU Spider-Man 4, but I've heard Marvel doesn't want to do that. So if Sony doesn't, you know what they could do? It's a different Spider-Man 4. I'm just saying, nobody said that, but like they could have him and Tobey do a thing, and that'd be fine. Especially if supposedly they are going to show up in Secret Wars. So we'll see. Oh, you got to meet Spectacular. That's cool, Taco Master. All right, so now, finally, we're going to talk about all the public domain stuff. And I really actually went through and tried to find as many, because this was a weird public domain year, because last year we got Steamboat Willie and it was like, oh shit, it was like crazy. And this year it's like, I think people want it to be that, and it's like not, but it is. First off, for this channel, I will say I would like to review all of the Mickey Mouse 1929 shorts throughout the year. I think there's one that's a haunted house one that I'd probably wait for Halloween, but the rest I would like to do those because I think they're interesting shirts. I like Abiworks. I forgot that he leaves Mickey Mouse pretty much in 1930. Like, he barely is in the 30s with Walt Disney. I was like, I guess I knew that, but never really thought about it. But yeah, I think it's like 11 more Mickey Mouse shorts. I'm paraphrasing really. The first one he talks in, and all the ones that were after the success of Steamboat Willie. Those are all in the public domain. The first couple Silly Symphonies, not just Skeleton Dance, but other ones as well, are also in the public domain, which it's basically like after this next year, there's like a couple of iWorks, but majority of his Disney productions, let me say it that way, because I know he did the Oswalds and the Alice and stuff. Those are in the public domain. So that's what happened. So and I've always kind of wanted to review the public domain Mickeys and stuff like that, so it's kind of a good thing there. So Popeye, let's talk about what's going on with Popeye. Popeye's appearance in Thimble Theater, his first appearance, has gone into the public domain. Not the Fleischer Brothers cartoons. And why I specifically say that is because if you make a Popeye thing and he eats spinach, that was not in what's in the public domain. So if he eats spinach, that's not good. Fleischer Brothers or whomever owns those rights or whatever, they have that. They don't. I mean, Popeye, if you didn't know, Thimble Theater existed a comic strip for a while. I think almost 10 years, and then Popeye shows up. Popeye to Thimble Theater is sort of like what Steve Urkel was to Family Matters, where as soon as Urkel came in, it became the Urkel show. And, I mean, that's literally what happened with Popeye. I know no one will make this comparison, but it totally works. Instead of did I do that, he says, I am what I am, but it's I'm glad to know I was pretty correct. Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of people are saying with Popeye, yeah, he's like rubbing this weird bird in it, and that's how he gets his powers and stuff. But a lot of people are saying that I've seen in everything I can read or watch on the public domain thing, they're like, the horror Popeye, the slasher Popeye movie can't have spinach, and it does have spinach. So how do they explain that? I'm really curious. Maybe they didn't realize, and now they're like, ooh, uh-oh. So Popeye being in the public domain, it's like sort of like with the the Mickey Mouse thing where it's like, well, you can only do it with this, and like last year it seemed cooler because it's Steamboat Willie and it's so iconic, and this it's like, if you want Popeye to be just himself and with the Thimble Theater gang, but like, I'm not exactly sure everybody else and like the Fleischer Brothers ness of it, which is probably what you recognize for it. So if you're going to do a public domain Popeye thing, look at the Thimble Theater thing. But if you're concerned about it, Popeye, he is what he is. He certainly is. Thank you for that, Austin. Maybe he's allergic to spinach. You know what? I never really thought of it that way. Maybe he is allergic to spinach. That would be an interesting thing. Can the chicken be? The chicken can be in it. Cheers to you, Austin. Thank you very much. There's a new Steamboat Willie horror movie coming out. I think it's called Steamboat. Comes out at the end of January. I'll review all the Mickey Mouse slashers. I should have done the Winnie the Pooh ones because apparently they're getting like weirder and interesting. I know. I follow Movies Silent on all the. I've followed her for a while, but she was saying the good thing about Public Domain Day is not just like how many of these are going to become slasher movies, which seems to be everybody's main thing. Okay, he does have one comic bench you can do. You just need to be careful. Okay, I think he doesn't like do the thing where he like puts it in his pipe and like all that stuff. I don't think you can do that. But that she was saying that the good thing about Public Domain Day is it frees up so many silent films to like be posted on YouTube and be restored when before like the rights holders wouldn't let you, and you can give it a good re-release and a lot of theaters can play it and like use it, like independent theaters, and use it to make money and stuff like that. And it also like brings up like there's one movie I want to talk about that's in here that went in the public domain. So there's more to this than just, this character will stabby stab someone. There's like a lot of film restoration and film history stuff that happens because of Public Domain Day. And I do agree we should talk about that. I'm not going to go... I only brought up the Popeye thing because that exists and we've already talked about it on the show. And the Mickey Mouse slashers, I think they're fun. Horror should be that. So, William Evans said, would J. Wellington Wimpy be public domain? I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of these, I will say, like Popeye and even Tintin, whose first appearance is also in the public domain, like, I believe they might be trademarked, so I would be like, just be careful. Be careful. Like, because the cool people just ignore the copyright. Oh, like, no, that's true. Cheers to you, William. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so Tintin, the first appearance of Tintin's in the public domain, so that's, other ones. Buck Rogers is now in the public domain. That book sounds really cool. And the first comic strip of him, which is the first comic, that is in the public domain. It sounds actually really interesting. I was like, why didn't they make that instead of like fucking John Carter? Like that. It's like, that sounds really cool. The concept, because he's like a World War I veteran. He's asleep for 400 years and wakes up in a futuristic society. Like, I was like, that sounds like a cool movie. Like, why are we not doing that? Everybody wants to do like, anyway. Also the early Tarzan comics. So if you wanted to do some Tarzan comic stuff, that's in the public domain. Alfred Hitchcock's first talkie, which I believe is still in England then. Blackmail is in the public domain, as well as the play of Rope that would later be made into a movie. So if you run a dinner theater, or if you're like, I want to do Rope at my school, you can. It's in the public domain. Also the book, The Maltese Falcon, not the movie. The book actually was not a success, really, until the movie happened. And, I made the thing about the MacGuffin because of the Maltese Falcon and stuff like that. But, the book is in the public domain. John Wayne's first talkie, The Black Watch, which is a fantasy thing, I think. Clara Bow's The Wild Party. The Return of Sherlock Holmes, which I think is the first Sherlock Holmes talkie. I think the first Marx Brothers, Coconuts. Welcome Danger, which is a Harold Lloyd film I'm not so familiar with. Buster Keaton's last silent film, Spite Marriage, that is like not a great Buster Keaton, to be totally honest. It's sort of on the decline. But you can watch it for free now. I think that means all of his stuff, the silent stuff, is in the public domain. If I'm sorry, I dropped something. If I'm correct on that. But yeah. Also, two Louise Brooks classics, Pandora's Box and Diary of a Lost Girl. A true, sorry I'm just listing off. So there's a few I want to talk about that will surprise you that I noticed people haven't talked about. Un Chien Andalou, which is a film from Salvador Dali and Buñuel. It is a real, like, if there's one of these you should see it, you should see. I've seen it so many times because I went to film school and stuff, but it's like someone like cuts someone's eye. It is some real weird shit. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. It's like, it's a true film history, but you do see someone cut someone's eye and it's like, ugh, don't like that. Still one of the most horrific shit I've ever seen. Hello, Elwood. But yeah, as well as, this is the one I might see and even review, Woman in the Moon from Fritz Lang. It basically, so what I've seen, what I've been told from it, it's basically like an early space exploration movie, and they sort of prefigure out all this cool stuff where, like, the countdown for the rocket, which obviously is 1929, all these are from, so like that was I know it was a cow eye, but it's still gross. I trust me, I know. Oh, hey Chandler, how's it going? Yeah, they predate the countdown. They show all this stuff, like they understand zero gravity. They like predate all this stuff. It's Fritz Lang, science fiction. That should be enough. Silent science fiction, Fritz Lang. I saw Metropolis so much as a kid in the worst quality copy you can imagine. And they've found more footage, so even the copy I watch is not even what it is now. But oh, hello Elwood. I remember OK, and I watched it like once or twice, but I don't think it made it to when I could see it. But maybe I'm wrong about that. But that looked really cool. Of the ones I've like looked at clips and posters, this is the Woman in the. It's called Woman in the Moon. Looked really cool. Hallelujah, which is the first King Vidor. King Vidor is a great director. And is the first Hollywood film with an all-black cast. Supposedly it doesn't age well, so if you're going to watch that, it's, you know, how 1929 dealt with race relations, which, trust me, yeah, you know, I don't need to go on there. Hollywood Review, which was a lot of like stars singing songs. It's most famous for them doing Singing in the Rain, which that composition, Woman in the Moon is cool. Yeah, everyone who's seen it is like, you got to see it, and I'm like, I really want to. Hollywood Review, it's most famous for this part where all these stars like Buster Keaton, Harold, I think it's like I forget. It has like a ton of people in it singing in the Rain. That is in the public domain. And this one I only saw one place, but the composition of Tiptoe Through the Tulips, not the recording by Tiny Tim, but the actual composition is in the public domain. I noticed that I was like, why is that not being brought up? Like, but that's a good list of stuff. I think what we're going to see as we hit the 30s, which it's going to be weird when like Public Enemy, one of my favorites, is in the public domain. Maybe I'll like stream it on my channel or something. I guess I can do that. But it is cool that this stuff is in there. I think mainly look at this list. If you guys haven't seen Pandora's Box, that's kind of a big one. It's not my personal favorite, I want to say that. But if you're like, hey, you know what? I'll watch an early Hitchcock talkie. I'll watch this. You should do it. This is your time. It's probably more available because people will share them a bit more. I am curious what's going to happen with the Mickey Mouse stuff. Is going to be interesting because eventually, like within our lifetime, every theatrical short, I mean, as long as let's say 53 was the end of the theatrical shorts for Mickey Mouse. So that is, 33 years? I don't know. We'll see if we make it that far. But the possibility is there. But yeah, we'll see like most of like the early Hollywood in the next 40 some years, or like classic Hollywood will go into the public domain, which I think is going to be it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to a lot of that stuff. Like how, as the streaming services are sort of abandoning, particularly like this is a period that when I was more doing all classic, I think there's probably Tin Pan Alley, but I would look into that because I think recordings and composition, it gets into this weird thing, William Ellman. So I would look into specifically the composition or ones you think about, because there's all sorts of weird things with it. But yeah, I'm hoping. But yeah, oh sorry. Blah, blah, blah. What I was saying is when I used to review more like 2013, 2012 and stuff, so reviewing classic Hollywood films, the main thing when I look into those communities was like just Turner Classic Movies, playing them was hard as right then. But now that like these films are in the public domain, I'm sure you'll see YouTube channels of like, here are all the Buster Keaton movies, and that's probably better for film history than anything. So or like Woman in the Moon, I hadn't really, I've seen a good amount of Fritz Lang. I know there's a lot of it. He's very, very prolific, but like people, I've seen a lot on Woman in the Moon, and like that film getting a spotlight is really good. Like it's Turner Classic Movies and Criterion and Mubi can't do everything, and these films getting this kind of publicity is good because someone's going to check them out who hadn't. So but yes, I will be doing the Mickey Mouses and the Silly Symphonies, and I'd like to do, if there are other, I actually couldn't find a complete list of everything. Ugh, I spit on my computer. But if there are other cartoons that you think are notable that are in the public domain, leave them in the comments of this video. Just say also that, because I couldn't find like, well, the Van Buren stuff I think has been in the public domain for a while. But if there's like something like I didn't mention that you thought was cool, and this is not like I actually really want to know. So like if there is something you think is notable, please put it in the comments below, and that way we can all share it and get more stuff like that. Because I like actually want to know, because it took a while to make this list. Actually, I watched like 3 different videos. All the articles were like, here's the Mickey Mouse shorts, and they wouldn't even list them all. And they go, I'm just Skeleton Dance, the rest Silly Symphonies, I don't know. I guess maybe they're public domain, who cares? It's just like so spread this info, share these links, be like, it's in the public domain. Make a YouTube channel of them. I know restorations can be copywritten, so be careful. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to do Woman in the Moon this year. I'd also like to do like, I was thinking maybe one year I'd like to do like, it's 25. I would like to do a film from 1925 this year, and I would like to also do every 5, like do 1905, 1915, so forth and so on. At some point, that would be cool, wouldn't it? I like old movies. But yeah, it's interesting what came out, but I'll say it is not what I think people like when people are like, oh, Popeye's in the public domain. It's like, he's not, not the Fleischer Brothers stuff. So I didn't see any out of the Inkwell stuff made it in here or anything. So I don't know. I would like can the government just be like, here's what's in the public domain, here's a Google sheet, just like leave us alone. Like I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. And it's just like an explanation, and then they can play When the Clown Died. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Cornbread said. I'll read this. I know it's a surgery, but he said, yeah, I had a hard time trying to find a list this time last year. Like I said, it was Steamboat Willie year. There were so many huge, mostly comprehensive lists this year, fragmented. Heavy Metal, the movie? That would take a while. I don't know if, well, I think, if we live to over 100, we'll see the 80s, 70s, 80s go into the public domain. But I don't think we'll see it. I don't. It's gonna be a while. I wouldn't hold my breath for that. Yeah, Captain Haddock isn't in the public domain, and I assume I don't know if Snowy's in the public domain. So actually, when Tintin, I'll tell you a funny story. When Tintin was coming out, I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. I know that comic's not big over here. No one's expecting it to do well here, but it's cool that they did it. And then he goes, what do you mean it's a comic? Like Tintin's a comic. And he goes, oh, man, I thought that was a reboot of Rin Tin Tin. And I was like, what? What? I still think about that. Anyway, he wouldn't know. Tintin's not super well known in America, and I talked to someone else later when they said the same thing. Oh, Bloxy's here. Hello. Kevin James for Popeye and Sonic 4. Also, sorry, like, hey, I'm late too, so I get it, Bloxy. I love the... I actually watched someone in the back on... Anyway, I had a weird Kevin James experience. Cheers to you, Bloxy. I had a weird Kevin James thing happen to me today. I don't know if I should share it. It's a little strange, but... I was like... Anyway, I don't know if I'll tell that story. If enough people want me to, I will. No, not even the Tintin cartoon. Like, the comic's not even that well remembered here. It's just... Anyway. Alright, let's move on to DC stuff. I know I did Superman at the beginning. That was probably a bad idea. Anyway, let's talk about DC and what happened with the Batman. So, the Batman has been delayed till 20... I'm sorry, Blocks. I think everybody had a rough day. This is not turning out to be a good year. 2 days in, I'm like, this sucks. Let's go to a different year. Can we skip? So the Batman was delayed until 2027. Supposedly James Gunn, who I don't disagree, should not be on social media as much as he is, has said that the script wasn't ready and they don't want to start things without a finished script, which... okay, dude. But they've delayed till 2027. All this switching up moved. Mickey 17 moved to March. Sinners moved to April, which was odd to me. But it seems like they actually have a little more faith in Mickey 17. Like they want to give it a little bit of room. So it's like maybe they believe in it. Maybe they realize fucking over Bong Joon-ho was a bad idea. I don't know. And then Tom Cruise's Inarritu movie about a billionaires trying to save the world or something is going to bow in October. Those are the release date things. Now, with Matt Reeves, what we do know is that what is delaying it is a personal thing. What that personal thing is, almost every reporter who does know will not say. And I think if that is the case... then we should leave it alone. But apparently there is something going on. However, what we do also know, what has largely been speculated, is the kind of thing between Matt Reeves and James Gunn, which neither of them have said, but everyone's convinced that Warner's wants Robert Pattinson in the DCU, and not separate in a Matt Reeves thing. And they sort of did this deal with Matt Reeves, but now they're trying to like reverse engineer him into it, and they're saying like, will Clayface be an introduction of a new Batman? Like, will Andy Muschietti's Batman Brave and the Bold even happen? Some people say it's just delayed indefinitely. Some people say it's been canceled and they're just waiting to announce it. I think honestly, like, having two Batmans isn't going to work unless you have an animated one and a live action one. Two live action Batmans is confusing. I agree. I do think like you'd have to renegotiate Pattinson's deal, which is like definitely complicated to deal with that on a studio level. It will definitely be expensive as fuck. However, the one rumor that like almost everyone has shot down, he's not gonna. I seriously don't think he'd be in the Superman movie, but I think they are probably trying to work with Matt Reeves and figure it out. But I also, and here's my bigger thing that I don't hear as many people say, Batman is sort of too big as a character. Like if you go to anytime I go to the comic book store, there's like so many, there's like a new Batman type title every week for the most part. I think it would do the DC movies good to like not have Batman around for a little bit and let other people build up. And I think like, because like Batman doesn't need a DC universe to be successful. I don't know if Superman does necessarily, but he's Batman. Batman is a huge box office star. He's like one of the probably, going past comic books, probably one of fiction's greatest characters, all that stuff. But like, I do think like pushing him off for a few years is good, but also like it does like what Jordan Slaffa, I was about to say this, but it frees up Pattinson so he can do Nolan's Odyssey, other movies, promote other movies, which is probably also why the release date changed and stuff like that. So, but right now, all we know is it was moved. I do think they're trying to figure out something with the Batman stuff. I think Andy Muschietti, like, he directed The Flash. Why do you want him to do a fucking Batman movie? Like, his Keaton stuff was not that amazing. So, oh, William Ellman said, me and my brother went to see The Brutalist in, I think you mean STL? What's that? What does that stand for? And about 15 minutes in, the only other guy there fell asleep and snored for the other 2 hours and 15. I want to see The Brutalist. I'm curious about The Brutalist, to be honest. I'm curious about that movie. Was it good, William Allman? I'm curious. But I saw Gem and there was just me and a homeless guy in the theater. So I mean, you never know. I've definitely seen movies where someone's snoring. But cheers to you, William Allman. I actually saw I actually saw the Radiohead documentary "Meeting People Is Easy." Like, my dad took me for it. Barely played in theaters. It was just and it played at the Baltimore Film Festival. And my dad kept falling asleep. I had to keep hitting him the whole movie. But yeah, I think honestly, the Batman. I've heard that eternally, Warner's is like stop announcing projects, but it sounds like Supergirl and Superman are happening, and like let's build that up before you get into it. I think this could be more just like let's let the IP have some air. You know what I mean? But we'll see. So Superman, what we are hearing. Oh, well, okay. Jason Momoa was cast as Lobo in Supergirl. This is kind of a thing we sort of had heard about for a while, and now he's cast as Lobo in the Supergirl thing. I'm curious about the Supergirl movie because, well, one is just like a dad whose kid like Supergirl. I'm a little worried about, how violent and crazy it's going to be. But I do think like she's like fighting the galaxy and stuff. Having Lobo in there makes total sense to me. And Jason Momoa is good as Lobo. It's super weird that he went from one DC character to another like rather quickly. Is that like the biggest switchover in terms of time in comic book movies ever? I think it might be. But I think it works for him. He probably needs like a good role again because like him in the Minecraft movie and all those like he's in a lot of TV ads for like betting apps in St. Louis. Okay, sorry. Oh, I like long shots. I noticed that I watched the movie Times Square, which I might do a review. Yeah, I think it's just good. We'll see what it's going to be, but to me, it's like that just makes sense. It makes sense for the movie. I'm fine with it. Okay, well, Clancy Brown would kill it, of course. But I think it's because Momoa looks like him. Clancy Brown's voice kills that, though. We are hearing a bit, and that the Superman movie is a bit of a mess, and that they did approve reshoots after it was screened, which is not a great thing. However, to me, like, and other reporters have said this, is like there's lots of movies that were messes on an initial test screening that turned out to be great. In particular, like a couple of people brought up Star Wars was a total disaster on a test screening, and Brian De Palma was like seen like nobody reported at the time, but it was like making fun of George Lucas afterwards. So like that, it's like next level bad. So like no one. And obviously Star Wars became a huge classic and stuff. So it's not the end of the world, but supposedly there was some reshoots needed, and they did feel like it was a bit messy, and they're trying to like reconfigure it a bit. And finally, we know that Creature Commandos Season 2 was announced. So we'll see. I'm really curious about Superman, and almost everyone thinks Fantastic Four is going to move till the fall, which I'd agree with. I think if like we don't get a Fantastic Four trailer by Super Bowl, I will agree with that. Or okay, if we don't get a Fantastic Four trailer by the Captain America movie, then it's not happening in the summer. Because it's opening like a few weeks after Superman. I feel like the Superman hype is like already building, and the Fantastic Four hype is like flatline because there's no updates. So they need to figure out something there. Okay, where are we? Oh, wait, so I started trying to do the math here. Started at 10:50, kind of. Maybe at midnight. we'll take a break. How much stuff do I have to talk about? We'll see. Around midnight we'll take a break. Sorry. I'm trying to pace myself, but it's hard when... Yeah, well, Superman, I think, hey, it's not as bad as the Snyderverse, so it's a little better there. The Fantastic Four like musical, yeah, probably. Anyway, thank you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. All right, so, where was I? Okay, so we found out that Christopher Nolan's new film is The Odyssey, not a helicopter movie with AI. I'm curious how he got that one. But apparently no one will... another... Thank you, Austin. I got that reference. Yeah, no one expected his announcement to be The Odyssey. Most people believe that Matt Damon is the lead of Odysseus. No one really knows, to be 100%. But that would make the most sense of the people that have been announced between Tom Holland, Zendaya, Charlize Theron. I think they think Charlize Theron is Athena. It's kind of a bigger... It's definitely a big epic. And look, he won Best Director. I keep people saying Oppenheimer made almost $1 billion. I thought it did make $1 billion, but whatever. It was a huge hit for what it was. He's time and time again, and Universal definitely wants to keep him around, so they'll spend... Supposedly it's going to be his longest movie. It's probably going to be his most expensive movie, but like he's not my favorite, but I get why they're approving that. I'm a little curious about it, but I hope if you're doing the Odyssey, he opens up to more imaginative... Like, he works for like a historical thing, because he's like not a very imaginative dude visually. So like I kind of am like not super excited for his like everything's dark fantasy movie. I'm like not into that. I would like him, like, I know we're talking about color grading, but I wish he would like, I don't know. We'll see. But it is interesting. Supposedly we also learned that they're going to have new IMAX cameras that are quieter and have Bluetooth and stuff. So that's neat. But it'll be a new specifically invented for Christopher Nolan. The IMAX company loves Christopher Nolan. This is not a new thing. This has been forever. They love that fucking guy. And they would, of course, give him their fancy-ass new camera to do his Odyssey movie. I actually think if you did it well, but I just want someone to really go for it. Supposedly the only other thing we learned is Pattinson only got the role in this. More like Taika Waititi's before. Yeah, that would be more in a better direction, actually. But Robert Pattinson only got his role in the Odyssey because of the delay of Batman 2. And Austin Butler apparently almost... Like, they were, like, trying to find out what was going on with Batman 2 to get Pattinson in this. And supposedly, like, Austin Butler was waiting in the wings. So it was, like, interesting. Supposedly, I keep hearing how there's a lot of big roles he's, like, the second choice for. Which is, like... That's not to shit on him. That's like, wow, that's pretty crazy. That like, it's like Pattinson and then Austin Butler. That shows you how Hollywood views him. That's what I would take that. I'm not trying to diss him or anything like that. All right. Robert Eggers. We talked about him earlier. Talk about him now. The rumor is that he's going to be writing and directing a new Labyrinth movie. That is a weird fucking choice. I don't know if that's a good idea, because he's very good at doing historical stuff and things like that. However, I invite the weirdness of that, and I do think like the Henson, Dark Crystal, and Labyrinth stuff. First off, it's like some of the most advanced puppetry cinema has ever seen. So if you're going to do that, to me, I would make sure you know how to film puppets. If you're going to do it. But I think he is a guy who would get into something like that, so it could really work if this is true. A couple people have mentioned that Alexander Skarsgård was in talks like forever ago, because there's been a Labyrinth talk for a long time that he would play the Goblin King. I think that is dumb. I don't want any actor. Get me a pop star. I want like, and you know what? We've had the pop girl year. Let's get like a Charlie XCX or a Chaperone. Let's make it a Goblin Queen. Let's do something fun with it. Because Bowie was kind of an odd choice, but Bowie liked doing different stuff. I want something like, I know Charlie XX wants to do movies. Let's, or same with like, I think Chapel Roan would work in that. Or even, I don't know, Sabrina Carpenter maybe. But like get somebody, get a female pop star. I just think it would work. But get somebody who's weird. It's one of those two, I think. I don't see a dude pop star who could, like, I don't think Harry Styles could do, no, he can't pretend he's moving a globe when he's not. Did everyone know that? I didn't know that when I was a kid, and then when I found out, I was like, holy fuck. That really, I was like, I thought David Bowie could just do that. That makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, I think it's an interesting rumor. We'll see if it happens, but I don't actually want. I mean, Skarsgård was in talks so long ago, but a lot of times some actors are just attached for Bjork would be great, Jordan Solofalo. Taylor Swift would not. You know what? She's a big fantasy person. If you see like what she's directing lately, and she's a fan of Del Toro. So if she wanted to do it, it would do well enough, and they would let them do it and stuff. But we'll see. No, I'm saying Robert Eggers thing is a rumor, and that's why I'm sort of throwing out casting. So I do think, like, get somebody weird to be, just, but yeah, you're right. Bjork, that's a good Jordan Slopflow. I'm with you on that because she was in The Northman. Remember when I suggested that and no one knew who she was in the chat? Now I felt old. All right. All right. I'm just going to talk about this for a second because it is uberly complicated. I don't know if this is the right demo. Like, you guys care about this. That's right. Oh, what if they got Imagine Dragons to do it? I don't. What if I imagine them not being in it? That would be better. Imagine Dragons. Jesus, I don't. No. Actually, you know what? Lil Wayne. Get Lil Wayne to do it. That would be amazing. Because Lil Wayne, oh my god. Man, back in the day, that guy, it was a lot of fun watching his rise, I'll tell you. No, not the St. Powers. That was such a buzzkill of an answer. I love it. So some of St. Powers stuff, I'm like, wow, that is so out of the box. All right. Oh, Little Nas X with Rat Blade. I'm liking this casting. Everybody tell me. And Lady Gaga, I'm cool. I'm okay. I kind of think someone knew her. But, oh, William Owen says that Robert Eggers' musical will only work if the music Korean throat singing? What? Yeah, it would have to be like some. Let's get out the chamber jazz for fucking the Labyrinth. Only, yeah, my dad used to play chamber jazz. It's not cool. Let me tell you, it's interesting, but yeah. Cheers to you. It was an interesting car ride where it's like me going to high school with my friend and my dad's playing like chamber jazz, chamber music. We're not riding with that. All right. I'm just gonna mention this briefly. Sorry, I started to talk about it, but then I got sidetracked. With the whole "It Ends With Us" lawsuit stuff, it is an uberly complicated kind of thing. But I will say that I think, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are pretty big, so I'd imagine if they were going to file a lawsuit like they did, they had just cause. I don't actually think this is just to destroy that Justin Baldoni person. I'm going to talk about other things, but just when I talk about it, no, I do think if two people who are as powerful as them, that have the money they have, if they wanted to push that under the rug, they absolutely could. And the fact that they're not, to me, is like, yeah, I think it happened. Now, the only thing with that is largely almost all of the entertainment people think that this is a fight over the sequel rights, which she doesn't have, and he does because he started the movie. He bought the movie rights for the book himself, so that's why it's so convoluted. And she wants them, and so supposedly this is sort of a call for that. Nothing in the lawsuit says she wants those, so this is highly speculative. But it is true they can't move through with the sequel without paying him off. If he had been, I think, smarter when he saw that they weren't getting along, I think he should have been like, hey, if you give me like $1 million, like I'll go away. You can have the rights. Just don't say what I did. I was an idiot. It sounds like he's doing the same thing that it kind of reminds me of Nat Turner or Jonathan Majors, where it's like, dude, you should just like take the L and like not push this as far as it is. And he doesn't. And it's like, you could have had a few years in Hollywood where people think, oh, well, it was successful. Is he a dick? I don't know. And everyone's like, no, he's a horrible dick person. And I do think part of this is like Blake Lively is like looking to rebound because that PR, the whole press tour was a fucking disaster. So it's just a weird sort of thing. But and the whole like, did he walk in on her breastfeeding and stuff? And then he okayed that she came in, but my only thing with that is, like, someone who has breastfed, there's sometimes where they're like, yeah, you can come in, it's cool. And there are other times where, like, they do not want you coming in, and it is not a catch-all for everything. It's like, it's I feel like that is one part I notice no one goes, like, there's times where, like, it's really difficult. There's times where it's super chill. Like, it depends on the kid and all that stuff. So I can totally see, like, a misunderstanding about that and him being a total dick about it. But I'm sick of these guys in Hollywood who it's like, oh, sympathize with me. But I'm like, you sound like a fucking idiot. Like, I don't know. The Nat Turner thing, it reminds me of that because the guy who did The Birth of a Nation in 2015, not D.W. Griffith. And he, in all seriousness, could have rebounded and Oprah was going to help him. And he was like, no, I'll handle it myself. And like, I was like, Jesus, dude. And now none of you probably know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, I just think it's like he's probably guilty and he handled it poorly. And now we're just going to see them sue each other over sequel rights for a sequel that was never going to do that well. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. All right. William Owen said Lars von Trier ruined any future Bjork movies because he was such a dickhead on Dance with the Dark. No, I agree. He did. He totally did. I actually like Dance in the Dark, but like, I don't know. I don't get why people have to act like such complete assholes on sets like that. And I think just ruining everything. Anyway, cheers to you, William. Like, I don't know. There was stuff about Aaron Eckhart this week, and it's like, yeah, that's why you don't see him, because he's like a strange, weird person. People don't want to work with you after a certain point. Like, I don't. Anyway, I also have. Okay. The only thing about Netflix and the Christmas and the Super Bowl, the football stuff, I actually miss when during the pandemic and a few years after there'd be like a big movie on streaming during the holidays, and I know like Red Notice definitely killed that. It was kind of nice. It's like you get a Knives Out sequel, there's 2020 you got Wonder Woman, all that stuff. But I do think it's like it sort of sucks that it was like Netflix was like football, and you're like, oh cool. And then Squid Game season 2 came out. I haven't heard as much talk about it. So anyway, I actually forgot. I have not watched season 2, but I forgot season 2 came out, and then I had to go into the city for something. I was like, oh, right. Squid Games. Like, I haven't seen that many tweets other than Hollywood Reporter and, like, entertainment news sites. I've seen very few people tweet about season 2, so I'm sure it's really good. All right. I'm going to talk about 2 executive things, and then we'll actually talk about the box office. Okay. I think I will move past 12. Sorry. It's okay. Remiku Hiraku Shrine. Whenever you're ready, let me know. All right, so, but before we get to the box office, okay, being a weird box office mood, you. All right, there's 2 executive things that I thought were. Well, there's one trailer thing. One was the Love Me trailer, where 2 inanimate objects, a buoy and a satellite, after supposedly civilization is over, start talking to each other, and then they use like YouTube videos of Kristen Stewart and Stephen Yang to like talk to each other. It's very strange, but they do say in the not too distant future. So I was like, oh, cool. Well, does MST3K own that line? I don't know. To me, it does. I don't know. It seemed interesting. I was like, I don't know if it's good, but it's at least interesting. It seems odd. It's kind of like all AI is computers talking to each other, which is, I don't know. It seemed, I will give them that it seemed interesting. All right, so the two executives. First, Netflix. An executive apparently is asking a writer, they said, to explain what's going on because they feel like the casual viewing, people are casually viewing doing something else, so there should be a part where someone explains what's going on while they're watching it. I totally do that with like Me TV Tunes all the time. We just call it Me Tunes, but a bunch of like older shows and stuff like that. But I actually don't think Netflix is good at that. I think they're kind of bad at that. So like to me, the fact that this is like it's not as much. I don't know. I don't think they make good stuff for having on in the background. To be totally honest with you, I think YouTube and regular actual TV is good. So I think if they think they need to write them like that, I don't think that's the problem. I think it's they don't have stuff like that. If you're being honest there. Then a Sony executive was defending Madam Web and Craven, and I understand his point, and I'll read this whole quote, but his I think it comes off idiotic. Madam Web, I forget his name, but I didn't write down his name. Doesn't matter. Sony executive guy said, Madam Web underperformed in theaters because the press just crucified it. I think the trailer did, dude, but okay. It was not a bad film. It was. And it did great on Netflix. For some reason, the press decided that they didn't want us making these films out of Craven and Madam Web, and the critics just destroyed them. They also did it with Venom, but the audience loved Venom and made Venom a massive hit. These are not terrible films. They were just destroyed by the critics and the press for some reason. I think they were destroyed because why would you make movies of them? I get why he would think that, because Venom was a hit and no one thought it would be a hit and nobody wanted it. And then it did well. Like, they did well. And so I get why he was like, oh, you idiots. But Venom did well. But what about Morbius? I noticed he didn't bring up. It's like Madam Web, the Amazon spiders, the infamous, my mom was in the Amazon researching spiders before she died thing, took on a life of its own. Like, it's not the public latched onto that. Like, to me, the only thing that really came out of it is Sydney Sweeney got to make Anyone But You and started becoming a movie star. That's honestly the most interesting thing about Madam Web. Everything else, anyway, it's just such a baffling, like, I love when they're like, it's not our fault, it's the critics. But I will at least give them the thing that, like, with the Venom films, I get why he would think that, but the Venom films are the exception, whereas everyone else he tried it with, I don't think the press did that, man. I think he just made something bad. No, the thing with the Netflix stuff, they don't have any information. The top 10, as I've said before, is all Netflix stuff. They don't actually, like, box office numbers are, other reporters look into them and, like, go over them and make sure they're accurate, and there's, like, a lot of, like, independent oversight, and with streaming numbers there just isn't. So that's why I've always been sort of, I don't like to talk about the top 10 of streaming, because there's no independent oversight and they refuse to let them do it, and it's sort of a mess. I don't like that way that the industry's gone with the streaming numbers, because they're highly it's basically just a company's propaganda, if in that case, not even a real top 10. Like, what's the point in discussing it? I don't think, to my understanding, they wouldn't outright lie, but the fact that they can doesn't make me feel good about it. And so anytime people are like, it's number 2 on Netflix, I'm like, they could say any fucking bullshit. What are you talking about? Like, I don't understand. If it's a random thing, I'm like, okay, most likely that is not. But part of me has thought, couldn't they just put some random thing in there and go, people are watching it, and people are like, we are watching it. You've convinced us. So, but there's no oversight. So there really isn't. If you can find that has changed, but I would assume someone would have mentioned that at this point. All right. I'm sorry we're talking about box office so late. I'm sorry the show is so late. We still have 50 minutes, or we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I won't say the thing that's going to be the longest one ever, but it will. No, I don't know. Anyway, so what's going on with Sonic and Mufasa, and that is the real like battle at the box office over Christmas. Now, first off, with Christmas box office, is it's not about the weekend. It's about it's really about the day for the most part. Because it's basically like every day, if you make $10 million every day for a week, that's $70 million basically. But no one's opening to $70 million. And a lot of times, like the first weekend is not usually what it like the first weekend is not as big because people are like, oh, I want to see Sonic 3 with grandma, so I'm not going to go to see Sonic 3 the first weekend because I know I'm going to see it with my family and stuff like that. Sonic 3 got a little confusing because people, they're obviously, you guys all like the Sonic things, it was front loaded because people were anticipating and people went first weekend, but then, it is also on track to maybe be the highest grossing Sonic movie. But what happened was, and it has been corrected on Box Office Mojo, I see, since then. How this drama started is Disney preemptively said Mufasa, based on estimates, was the number one movie of last weekend. It was not. Now, estimates are a weird thing, and you can say one thing, but it sort of seemed like Disney was a little butthurt because Mufasa is not doing great. It's also, with Mufasa, it hasn't even made the opening, it hasn't outgrossed the opening weekend of the live-action Lion King, which was 190. It's not even getting close. It might not even finish with that. So, I think they're definitely like, what the fuck do we do at this point? I don't know. So I think they were kind of hoping it would work out, and it didn't. And then what happened after that was Box Office Mojo on their day box office, which nobody looks at the day box office except for Christmas, especially this Christmas season. We're seeing Sonic and Mufasa battle it out. I don't know what happened, but for a few days Sonic wasn't reported. People thought it was Disney. What I honestly think, and was the most likely thing, is Paramount either, it's the holidays, somebody had off, it didn't get reported, and people got weird about it because Disney pulled some bullshit. Now, I think there's a little bit of like they could have done, they went with the estimates and maybe they shouldn't have, but because they started that bullshit, the fans and stuff were like, what's going on with these day box office Mojo and stuff. But I think it's a problem Disney created because they should have just shut the fuck up, and they shouldn't have done that, and they shouldn't have made ads saying they're the number one movie of the weekend. I think that was a really stupid idea, and it's honestly the whole argument over them is Disney's fault. They were idiots. But basically what happened was Mufasa hasn't really been number one that many times. Will Disney buy Sega over this, like the rumors say? No, I don't think they are going to buy Sega. I don't think they're going to buy any more company. I hope not, but knowing I agree, probably will. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. The only days Mufasa's been number one since the weekend they both opened together. Sonic's pretty much been number one up until Christmas, which is a weird outlier. Like The Color Purple was number one that day, or did really well that day, and then like fell off a cliff right after. So it's like the kind of people who would see a movie on Christmas, like there's a lot of people who never go to the movies, they just go on Christmas. So it's like, it's a hard day to figure out. And that day and on Boxing Day, Mufasa was number one, and then on the 29th. But literally every day since release, Sonic 3 has been number one, and apparently on New Year's Day, Mufasa was number one. And Mufasa has not made as much as Sonic. I think it might be internet. I'm going to look right now. Worldwide, Mufasa is at 352, but it's been open longer. Worldwide, Sonic's at 237, but domestically, Sonic 3 is at 160, and Mufasa is at 138. And I think it's also like Sonic cost a lot less than Mufasa and isn't, of the films, it looks like it's, it's on track to like basically make around, because Sonic 2 made about 400, made 190. Sonic 1 had to open during COVID, but still made 148 and 319 worldwide. And now Sonic 3 is on a good, could possibly be the highest grossing one. So I also think the thing with Disney and this box office, because we're seeing a couple of their movies go against other things, whereas Wicked went against Moana 2, Sonic 3 went against Mufasa, and they have a complete unknown, which is Searchlight, which they also own. I think the difference is Sonic 3 had Shadow, and people are like, holy shit, Shadow and Keanu Reeves and Jim Carrey has all these like big, like I gotta see it things. I don't feel that with Mufasa. And then like there's not that need for it. And same with like Wicked is like, oh my god, they made a Wicked movie. There doesn't seem to be that fervor for Moana 2. So Disney's like thing for like constantly wanting to make their franchise stuff, they might need to mix it up more, because like looking at Paramount's kicking their ass, Universal's kicking their ass, but what they're doing is like giving you a reason to see these. Like these feel like must see events. Whereas like Moana 2, you're like, okay, it's like, I think at the beginning it felt that way, but like Moana 2's getting killed in America by Wicked, and it feels like they're sort of both in that comparison thing. And I think Sonic 3 is just like, if you want to see Sonic, you really want to see that. And Mufasa, although Lion King is very popular, it's not to the same level, I don't think, but I mean, I don't know. I also, don't want the live action movies to succeed, so maybe that's why I keep bringing it up. But also Sonic 3's per screen average is really high, and they're in less theaters, so there's a high chance that it is actually your theater for Sonic would be more crowded than Mufasa as well. And Robert Eggers is having a big hit with Nosferatu, which has already made $53 million and is his highest grossing movie already. And other than that, I know Lord of the Rings is already out of the top 10 and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be interesting what is Killer Unicorn? It's 53rd. What is that? American Psycho Party Monster and GJ Steve Aoki all combined for Killer Unicorn? What? I gotta look this up. I never heard of this movie. Sorry. I always go to the bottom and I just scroll down and I'm like, what is Killer Unicorn? Alright. Let me do the obits. And two pretty big ones. I guess. Olivia Hussey, who is from most probably know from Federico Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet, where she was incredibly underpaid and taken advantage of, and actually recently tried to sue the studio that made it, but it was too long ago for that to happen. However, she also was in Black Christmas. Whoa, male tears came out of nowhere. I didn't see that coming. She was also in Black Christmas, which is the first holiday slasher movie before Halloween, by the way. And she was in a scene in Boy Meets World, which was interesting. Anyway, she's always been an incredible presence. I think it's sad to see her go. Her family announced it over the holidays. Probably, if you didn't see... Oh, goodbye, Mandela Butterfly. Thank you for being here tonight. If you didn't see one of those movies, I think Black Christmas is probably one of the most momentous holiday slashers or holiday horror movies ever. And then we have Jimmy Carter, probably... I guess our first president, U.S. president to get to 100. Overall, decent guy. I think it's kind of sad to see him go, and definitely like what happened to him politically and everything like that. But what was sad is once he died, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, oh man, I guess the oldest president is like Clinton, and then I did the math, and I realized the oldest president living right now is Joe Biden. And the second one is Trump, and then Clinton, and then I think W, and then Obama. And I was like, wow, that sucks. Anyway, R.I.P. to Jimmy Carter. History's greatest spots. I forgot about that. Scooby-Doo can do but Jimmy Carter is smarter. Thank you for that, Norman. That was where that... I love it. All right. At least... Yeah, you missed GTA 6. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Then we're going to talk about Mickey Mouse, the Barn Dance, and then a close shave, Wallace and Gromit. And then we'll do questions. I want to thank you for being around. I'm sorry that we're a little late tonight, but thank you for all being here. And U.S. presidents are definitely getting old. It is crazy. It is crazy that when Carter died, the current president is old. It is like, Jesus, dude. Like, whoa, Sinram's here. Hello. Well, I'm about to take a break, Sinram. I'm sorry. Go back to bed. Feel better, man. Feel better. Any reflections on Jimmy Carter would be appreciated, Sinram. I guess. I don't know. I don't know why I put that on you. I'm sorry. I was like, you need to stop saying Sinram would know about that, because often he's like, I don't know about that. So I was like, I need to stop doing that. Anyway, I hope you feel better, man. Go get lots of sleep, all right? Buster is hungry. No, I fed. How did you know that was not Buster? How did you know that? Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick break. Is this the bumper? Yes, it is. I'm gonna take a quick break, pee and all that stuff, and then we'll be right back and do the segments. If you want to do any super chats, we're running out of time if you would like to do so. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'll see you shortly. And yeah, then we'll talk about, you have a little bit to watch the barn dance, I guess. All right. We are back. Hello, everyone. To do the final... Wait, where's my... Where'd you guys go? Oh, there you are. To do the final segment. Well, I'm glad you're here, Sarah. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. That sucks. When you're not feeling well. That's not nice, is it? Hello. All right. Okay. I do wait, got too many things. I do really like this King Kong, to be honest. Although I meant to grab the Godzilla, but it's like moving stuff around and stuff. I didn't want to like look for. You'll see the Godzilla in a later thing, but I think it's so cool, the robot arm. I like that. Cleve's Feast is not in the public. I probably won't live to see that one. But yeah. I like the robot arm idea. It's kind of cool. Anyway, they got a oh, cool. Cinema has a great channel. You haven't posted. When was the last time you posted Cinema? You should post again. I would like to know. Maybe they're not. Anyway, I'm gonna go check after this. I got them both, Godzilla and Kong, but they're cool. I like these recent figures. But yeah, he went to the Empire State Building. The King Kong stuff is cool, but they have like this barrage of like media stuff. Like all the stuff that's filmed in the Empire State Building, and there are two things I thought is one, Video Music Box used to film in the Empire State Building. I didn't see a notice, but they had like such a scroll of stuff they honestly could have, and I missed it. So he just posted the other day. Really? I didn't know. Okay, this is why I don't like things about YouTube, because I like would. Okay, I will put that in my watch later. I'm gonna go through Sinram's channel after that. Apologies, Sinram, but you know what? It's fucking YouTube, because you did just okay. I will anyway. But yeah, they did that. But I also thought this after we were there was like the only movie I saw when they were playing clips that takes place in the Empire State Building but does not go to the top that I've ever heard of is Elf, because the office is in the Empire State Building like the whole movie, and I don't think they ever go to the top, do they? Maybe they do. Do they go to the top? I don't think they do. Maybe they do. It feels like him and Joey did. I just watched that, so I don't remember them doing that. Anyway, it's interesting. Like it's just the office building, right? Anyway, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe if someone can remember, it feels like they could have, but I don't think they did. I think they'd like get coffee and go to Rockefeller Center and all that stuff. I don't think they go to the. Anyway, sorry. I was just thinking that's interesting. It's like the one movie. Okay, we'll sit around after this. I'm gonna make sure I've seen them all, because I've liked your channel for a long time. I'm disappointed in YouTube for not telling me about it. I'm gonna post it in. I'll post it somewhere. I'll post it in the Discord in the. You know what? I'll post it in general. Fuck it. We're doing it live. I also learned, and I need to post this in the recommend thing. Someone revealed that there is a better cut of the 90s Captain America. It was actually interesting. Seemed like a better movie. Not a good movie, but a better movie. All right. So we're going to talk about two shorts tonight in kind of like two series in my for Movie Crop Live, beginning the new series of like last year I did all of the Mickey Mouses in the public domain. This year I'm going to do all the new ones that are in the public domain, and the first one being the Barn Dance. The Barn Dance, which is the next one in the order after Galloping Gaucho and Plane Crazy. Although I think this, I forget, it gets confusing because I think didn't Plane Crazy play like two versions and stuff? I don't know. We're not talking about that. I did that whenever I said that. I'm sure I was right. But in the Barn Dance is kind of the direct follow-up to Steamboat Willie. The other two were obviously made before, but then re-released later with sound attached, but this was actually made to be similar to Steamboat Willie. So this is like the proper follow-up to Steamboat Willie. You could actually say, and I was thinking this after watching it, you could for real say this is the very first Disney sequel ever, in a way, because it is direct. Maybe, I don't know, if you want to, maybe that's dumb. Anyway, so the Barn Dance, which was released on March 14th, 1929, this was, it says on Wikipedia, it says two different versions. It says on the listing on the side it was directed by Walt Disney. However, in the description it says it was directed by Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks. I tend to think it was directed by Ub Iwerks because I think he is cool and he was the head animator, and I think he probably did most of it. But it is interesting because it is basically an Sound Playing Crazy after the Barn. Jesus, it gets confusing with those three. But I've already reviewed that, so we're good. You know, when I reviewed it before, there was no sound, so it's legally we're fine. It's sort of a simple plot, and I never talk about the ending of these, but it's actually kind of a big deal in this one. So, but in this one, you can tell it's 1929 because Mickey rolls up to Minnie's house to take her to the barn dance in a horse and buggy. But Pete shows up in a horseless carriage. That fucking motherfucker. Sorry. This is making... I should not curse in these. Okay. This is just for the stream then. That Pete shows up. That jerk... Sorry. When Pete shows up being... being a man about town... a mean villain guy. He shows up with his horseless carriage to impress Minnie. And Minnie actually goes in his car first, but then she decides to go with Mickey to the dance. But Mickey is a total kind of idiot. We do get an appearance from the parrot from Steamboat Willie. I like that he came back. That's wonderful. But yeah, Pete gets an automobile. I like that Mickey still doing the horseless carriage thing. Then he shows up. Whoa, hello. Hey, Izzy. But yeah, Pete shows up. He doesn't end up getting Minnie. They go. And then Mickey fumbles the date hard. He doesn't know how to dance. His feet get really big for some reason. He steps on Minnie. Minnie's legs get really long because she got all stepped on. Then she has to cut her legs in half and tie them together all rubber hose style. That's really what happened. I'm not being weird. And then this is the only time this has happened. And I don't normally talk about endings in this. Mickey loses. Minnie ends the short with Pete at the barn dance. When I watched this with my kids were like, wait, Mickey Mouse loses. Apparently it never happens that Mickey loses, but Mickey fumbled it. This is a very simple plot. It is definitely simpler than Plain Crazy or Galloping Gaucho. It is seriously just like they pick up Minnie, they go to the dance. Mickey, look, everybody has bad dates sometimes, and Mickey Mouse does too. And the energy's off, and you're just like, what am I doing? You feel really stupid about it. Happened to me in high school a bunch of times. But they'd be like, why do I even try? I was really bad at that. So it was like, I can relate, Mickey. I suck at a lot of things. So, but yeah, Mickey took an L. No, but in all honesty, my daughter was like, what? Like, the short ends with Mickey losing Minnie and crying. And it's like, fade out. We're done. Have fun, 1929 audiences. I was like, that was a little shocking, to be honest. Like, I like how much Ub and Walt and those guys messed with the perception of Mickey Mouse. In this and in these. But look, hey, at least Pete gets to win once in a while. I think it's good for Pete. He deserves it. He's been an older cartoon character than Mickey anyway, actually. And he can get Minnie this one time. And Mickey, you know what? If you watch this short, he didn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve that. I wish the parrot got more lines. He did get to laugh. So, yeah, Mickey took an L, man. Mickey took an L. He did. He fumbled it. Pete's clothes are the basis for his appearance in the 2013 short Get a Horse. But also, this is the first appearance, and maybe this is animation nerdy, I don't care. Les Clark, who's one of the 9 old men, Disney's legendary team of animators, was sort of an in-betweener and did like cleanup and stuff for Iwerks' crazy intense animation style for the first 3. And he would be in charge of actually animating just Mickey Mouse. So is Les Clark is actually the only credited people on this are Iwerks and Les Clark. So this is the first major appearance we're seeing of one of the 9 old men, I believe, is in this, which is pretty momentous, actually, if you know who the 9 old men are. I've long wanted to make a video explaining every one of those guys. But yeah, congratulations to Les Clark on there. Nathaniel Fucking, this is Mickey's canon event. Yes, it is. Cheers, you know. Fuck. Anyway, in comparison to the other Mickey Mouse shorts I have seen of the early years, is the 4th, whatever release order we're talking about, this seems to be 4th, guaranteed. I think this is sort of, oh, good night, Dan. Thank you for being here. I think this is sort of the, it's definitely one of the worst ones I've seen. I do think it's sort of like, if you're doing a series, it's a simple little fun, you know, it's a little fun short, but it isn't kind of, I think, if you watch the first 3, they're so momentous and obviously historically significant and all those things. But like, there's a lot going on in those, and this is just sort of like, I don't know, he's at a barn dance. I mean, they made a lot more of these this year than they did the previous year. I'm curious if possibly that time worked out for them for those first 3 that really caught on, and they could just sort of do a passable thing on here. The animation was cool. I actually thought Mickey stomping on her legs and her cutting off her legs and tying them together, I thought that was actually really cool and inventive, and I thought the dance was cool. But there's no like real iconic moments. I think the most iconic thing is that Mickey Mouse loses, and I actually think that makes this, that's the real most interesting thing about this, is that Mickey Mouse loses. And you know what? Sometimes Mickey Mouse deserves to lose sometimes. Although I like William Ellman's theory on him and Minnie's relationship. It says Mickey Mouse abused too many small animals in front of her. Hello. I mean, he did, though. He did. All right. Let's now talk about the next one. Now I'm not sure, before I do the 3rd Wallace and Gromit short, I do want it, Ron Krauser will be the next video. I don't know if next week I will do, oh fuck, I forgot. Now I remember what I forgot to talk about in the opening. I don't know if I'll do the 4th Wallace and Gromit short next week or not. I kind of want to at least watch Were Rabbit before I do that, so we'll see if that all works out, because this weekend's a little crazy. But if I do before the next show, I will. But if not, I do plan on at least this month reviewing at least all the shorts. I think would be cool, because there is a 4th one. Everyone seems to, some people know and some people don't. And also the other thing I wanted to bring up, a scheduling thing. I meant to bring this up at the beginning. The Oscar nominations come out the 17th, which is a Friday. I think I'll probably just stream that week, which is 2 weeks away, on a Saturday, so I have enough time to like really go through the nominations and stuff. So we might have a Saturday show that week, just to let you guys in on that. So it's more just because I don't think I could do the research in time for that night, and I don't want to do like a show the day before and get it invalidated by the Oscar nominations. So it's sort of I think the best way to do it in my mind, but we'll see what life is like that time. But just to let you in. Sorry, I meant to say at the beginning and I didn't write it down because I'm like, I won't forget. You forgot. All right. But I am excited I'm curious for the Oscar nominations. I'm hoping I will finally watch The Substance and Nosferatu before. I don't know about The Brutalist, and we'll see. I do want to have a top 10 list this year. Okay. All right. So, now, and if anyone, this is, I guess, we're getting towards the end of the show. So I'm sorry to, towards the end, I'll just say, I should have said the super chat thing after the break, but I'll just say, if you want to do a super chat, This is really it. And thank you if you did so. Sorry to be asking so much. I feel embarrassed now. All right. Anyway, is Izzy still here? All right. We're going to talk about Wallace and Gromit, A Close Shave. This is the third Wallace and Gromit short. It is the second Wallace and Gromit short to win an Oscar. As of right now, the Oscar nominations come out yet, and the new movie hasn't come out yet in America. But as of right now, everything Wallace and Gromit has done gets nominated for an Oscar or wins. It has 3 wins, and this is the second one, which is insane. Ryan Walterson and I were actually talking about. I was like, is this the only franchise to win like everything it's ever done? If it does with this movie, everything it's ever done gets Oscar nominated. That's pretty insane. Oh, cool. I've been liking your arts in different styles, by the way. I should like them all. If I haven't, I'm going to go through. It's confusing with the blue sky and I can take a. Sometimes I do, but thank you for the permission, Sarah. But no, I've been liking the art in different styles. I need to like all those because you do a good job, Izzy. Izzy's awesome, and Izzy's right. Izzy, you can be next to King Kong. Oh, he knocked over King Kong. Jesus, Izzy, calm down. Don't knock over King Kong. All right. That was. This is where by me being tired and punch drunk is really gonna hit. All right. Where were we? Yes, this is the third short. So this one is interesting. I've noticed every time Wallace and Gromit are always sort of working class. They're always looking for money and a job, despite that they could go to the moon in the first one. But I guess going to the moon is expensive, so it makes sense. But in this, a sheep gets into their house, who gets off of a truck. They take the sheep. They don't see the sheep, but they see someone's eating their food. They eventually find the sheep, and Wallace names it Shaun. Yes, this is the first appearance of Shaun the Sheep. Shaun the Sheep is, and I'm not joking here, a spin-off of Wallace and Gromit, if you didn't know or forgot or something. But he does name him Shaun, and we know his name is Shaun the Sheep. But in it, they find him. They are window washers. They meet this woman who's selling yarn and wool, who Wallace likes a lot. They start taking on a relationship. There's another dog that she has, and that dog sort of gets Gromit, takes the fall for them stealing. This wool lady is stealing all these sheep when there's a wool shortage, and Wallace basically takes the fall for her, for the other dog. Sorry. And actually goes to jail and it goes on trial, but then Wallace gets Gromit out with the sheep, and they, do all this stuff. This is part of the tape I had and watched a lot of times of the first 3 shorts. I will be honest, I actually forgot a lot of this. I think it is the worst of the 3, but I think the technical advancements in this are fairly impressive, particularly the end chase scenes. Like, there's technical stuff they couldn't have done in the other shorts. They're basically doing like what any filmmaker does when they make sequels like this. They want to show off more of what they can do. They want to put more advancements in it. It's still a very good short. I really do like it a lot. But do I like it as much as The Wrong Trousers? Not really. Do I like it as much as A Big Day Out? I don't. But I do still like it, and especially like the chase scene. Aardman is amazing at a chase tense. Like, there's almost no one better than them. They're so good at it. Particularly like the thing where like Wallace is with all the sheep, and like Gromit like is on the motorcycle and it falls off, and it becomes like all that stuff is amazing. It's really well done. I just don't like it as much as the other 2 shorts. Like, Wrong Trousers is probably the peak for me. This is sort of, if you're going to compare it to everyone's favorite franchise, I would say this is sort of the Beyond Thunderdome of the Wallace and Gromit series. But aren't we all beyond Thunderdome? No, I do think it's a little different with Wallace, and like there's a lot more talking because there's another character who's voiced by legendary British character actress Anne Reid, who is also in Hot Fuzz and was on Coronation Street for 10 years. If you watching that know what that is. But I liked Gromit in this, but him, like the whole thing with him, you only learn about his jail and his trial through The newspaper, I don't think worked as well because it's not visual. Maybe they saved up their money for the chase sequence, which is so amazing. But yeah, it's just not as, I'd say, compelling and interesting and like surprising. Even like with Gromit flying around in the thing and stuff like that. But Aardman's like technical mastery is absolutely there. And I can totally understand like why this worked at like kind of cinching the deal, because I remember so many people. Yeah, it's the first time in my Thunderdome joke or reference to Mystery Science Theater in 2025. But I can understand, like, I had the tape. I know a lot of people had this tape of all three. I know I'm making a big deal out of it, but it was like everyone had it. And I think, at the very least, I don't think it's a bad short. It's just like, doesn't seem like, I do think The Wrong Trousers is a really hard thing to follow up. It's probably one of the greatest stop motion animated shorts of all time. And I do think on a technical level, this is definitely up there, but it doesn't feel as interesting. And there are some twists and turns, but it almost feels like what they wanted to do, like what they wanted to do with The Grand Day Out. Like when I talked about how they wanted to do all this stuff with like, have all these Star Wars references and have all this crazy stuff, but they didn't have the money or time, or they didn't know how to do that then. And it feels like that worked because they couldn't, and now they can, and they're more doing it because they can rather than they should, which is not something I see them do a lot. Even in like Farmageddon, they do a lot of sci-fi references, but it all works. So it was kind of interesting. I think maybe like Nick Park's figuring himself out as a filmmaker. I'm not saying they should have won the Oscars. Like, it's still a really cool short. It has some surprising things with the dog, that's not Gromit, the evil dog, and stuff like that. But it plays more like a big Hollywood kind of a short, less of like, you know, the surprising, like the chase scene in The Wrong Trousers, which, yes, I'm comparing it to, but that was the last one. So I still think this is really good. It just doesn't feel as solid. And I do like that they have a new job each time. And I like that like everything comes around in these, like everything they shoot with the porridge and the soap, and like no moment is wasted in this. This is still a solid short. Maybe it's because the technical innovations in those were so much, it sort of gets like lost in the context, which I feel like that happens to me a lot with filmographies when I'm like watching everything in a row or something. There's always one that it, like, if I just watch this independently, I'd be fine with it. But since I'm watching it so close, maybe that's my own personal issue. But I still liked it a lot. I'm gonna watch. I watched the other two with my kids. I'm gonna watch this one with my kids. I'll probably rewatch this 50,000 more times in my lifetime. I still quite like it. But I am a little critical of the trial thing. I think it would have been more fun to watch Gromit on trial, but maybe you needed more like voice actors and stuff like that. And I think Anne Reid's chemistry with Wallace, or the actor Peter Sallis, really worked very well. This is probably the one with the most dialogue, and they were able to get that to work very well and like kind of have twists and turns and stuff. It does show kind of more of like what Aardman would become, like with Chicken Run and the other Shaun the Sheep stuff, but I think they'd refine it better. This is sort of maybe more of like a more messy narrative than those would, but they definitely, I think, learned from it. Like, they would not, this wasn't like, let's just show off our technical prowess. They're definitely more of a storytelling thing all throughout. Like, I've actually never really thought this about them before. So I was kind of surprised thinking that this time. But it's still a great short. It's still really wonderful. Maybe I'm talking too much shit here. I still think it's amazing. It should win its Oscar. It was still a very fun, amazing experience. But it just didn't feel maybe as inventive, but maybe that wasn't the point, and maybe I shouldn't be so on it. I should not consider it such a close shave, because it is a great short. It is a lot of fun. It does have twists and turns. It is very, even though it's a little messy narrative, very tight, but yeah, maybe it's the weakest of the first three shorts, but it's still a Wallace and Gromit short, and there's nothing that's going to be wrong with those two coming together. Hey, we did 2 segments. Hey, and it's not 12:50 yet. Look at me. All right. Where was I? I was gonna put. Now let's. I don't think I would like to do maybe have timestamps on this. I don't think I'm doing it tonight because I have to clean a few things after this. But yeah, just saying. It's not the timestamps is not because I'm like sipping on Mai Tais on the beach. Or I don't think. Anyway, it's more just because I'm a little tired sometimes. So that's not even. It's just time and stuff. So just I need to get better at that. But I will at least in this boo. Like I want to at least do opening news break segments that I want to at least try to do that. So we'll see. But let's get to the Patreon questions. I'm going to drink some water. First, let's see. Nathaniel Foga, favorite countdown to the new year. Let me just say this. I always watch which is bizarrely called Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest, which was like his 20th year doing it, which I was like, wow, that's weird that Dick Clark, he was doing it. He would just come out for the ball drop while he's still alive, but it was sort of weird. I liked watching, I used to watch it on MTV when MTV used to do it, I would say that, but I ended up watching that. When Dick Clark hosted, I remember watching one. I'm just going to tell the story because I meant to tweet it and I didn't. I watched one and the musical guests were President of the United States of America and Weird Al. And so they played Lump and then he played Gump soon after. And I don't know if that's ever happened like on an award show where he performs and the person doing the original. I don't know if that's ever happened, but I remember it happening. I remember the President of the United States of America were sort of looking at him like, this is weird. Anyway, maybe I'm misremembering it, but that's what I think it was like the 96 to 97. And then there was a Cartoon Planet marathon right when midnight hit, and my friend changed the channel. Evan changed channel this year once. I remember that. Good times. Anyway, in your opinion, this is from Sinram, which fictional characters are the easiest to recast when a movie franchise is rebooted? And which characters are the most difficult? For the easiest, I'd go with Jason Voorhees, since he technically doesn't speak or show his face. I would say Tommy Jarvis, since they recast him every time he's in a movie. He was Corey Feldman, then he was in New Beginnings, and then he was in Jason Lives, and he was different people with various different ages. I would agree with, like, if you're a creature, you can, but if you see the difference between Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, and anyone else who did it, I'd say monsters, sure, or CGI creatures. I think the hardest one, if someone is very charismatic and their charisma carries a movie, it is really hard to recast that. I'd say that's honest. Like, it's like when they do Bond, that's like one of those. Or, yeah, I feel like you fell in love with the character, but part of the character is the actor. I think that's really difficult. Easier ones are like ones where I think it's a new version and that person just like sort of makes, like there's sometimes like Lobo with Jason Momoa this week. That's when we're like, yeah, that makes sense. And like when you think of the movie, you're like, yeah, that works. It's like, I think that's, if the context of the film works with the casting, I think that works better. I think it's harder, I think for audiences, like let's say, when you heard, and I don't agree with how people do this, but Michael Keaton being Batman, and you never really seen him do a role like that. Or like the Heath Ledger Dark Knight thing, even though that was a little dumb. He was in Brokeback Mountain, like get over it. But like when it's like what you know them for is so different, but if what you know them for in the context, I think it works for you, it can work. Basically. That's my opinion on it. There's certain people who are like, oh, them is that? Yeah, that worked. Or like Christoph Waltz when he was Blofeld in Bond. That didn't really work out because the writing was bad. But like the idea of that made sense. I think that's a casting where like, oh, this is gonna be cool, and it wasn't. Austin says, "Hey Jim, Happy New Year. I hope you had a great Christmas and I hope you had a great Christmas and New Year. What a great first show of 2025. My question for you is, which is last and likely the next question for you is from Cornbread. Well, now I'm just going to make it that. My question for you, what film anniversary are you looking forward to, and what throwbacks do you think you will do this year? I have some cool ones. I do it actually at the beginning of the year, so this is like a good time to ask me. I know there's certain things like, I think Fury Road and Thunderdome, both, I think, right? As well as, I know like the last two of my college shorts, and then my dad's short, Violator on the Hook has an anniversary this year. I forget what else. It was like a lot. Anyway, I do actually have a list that I'm working. I haven't finished, to be honest. But I have a bunch of them. Kingsman. Um, what else? Chappie. I know you're excited. Unfriended. A bunch of stuff that I was kind of surprised. Batman Forever and Batman Begins. You're going to hear about these later, but I was kind of surprised how many Mallrats, Follow That Bird, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. There's all It Follows. There's a lot of them, but Vampire Hunter D, all that stuff. So I think this is going to be an interesting one. But yeah, those will be throwbacks later. Okay, let's go up to. Okay, I'm going to do a question. I'm going to do Cornbread's first just because. Then I'll go back to St. Powers. Cornbread, there's still 2 more episodes of Skeleton Crew, which means more Wolfman questions. Here's a hard one. What's the second best Katana character? The first one is Katana Wolfman. Oh, obviously, the band, the Jizz band. That would be my favorite. Or the weird, who's that weird head thing? And then they cut to him. He's like, and he's like that weird big. It's like I don't know. Or the Tonica sisters, who infamously did not sign releases, and so there's never merch of them. Zane, that's true. You should look up the Tonica sisters. Like George Lucas does not like those two. Zane Powers. Whenever Disney has a bomb and a different movie beats them in the box office, how often do you hear people thinking Disney will buy the company out, and they take it seriously? I haven't heard that before. This is a new thing. I don't think they would, because Paramount is so wrapped up with the Sonic franchise, and I don't think Disney is a good match for Sega. I understand because Iger does that, so it's like not as crazy as people think it is. I don't think it's that crazy, but yeah, I don't know. It does feel like the problem with Disney is they're not. I think sometimes, like in 2021, when they had No Way Home, which I guess they didn't fully do, like they had like, oh my god, it's all this. But I think the thing with a Christmas movie, and you can do like Gladiator 2, I noticed didn't excite people as much. Same with like Moana 2 or with Mufasa. But I think what they should think about is they need to have the right combination. That's what Sonic had. So. They do rely on franchises too much, but they need to understand franchises are not the only movie star, and they very much act like that. But I wish people would stop it with I don't think that what's going to happen. But I guess they can't buy Nintendo, so I sort of get why people think that, to be 100%. William Ellman, what is your favorite silent horror movie that isn't Cabinet of Dr. Caligari or Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror? Thank you for clarifying that. I do consider Faust horror. Might be that one. I do like Murnau quite a bit, so I almost want to say Faust. I would also say Phantom of the Opera is not scary, but I do like that one. So I don't know. I'll just stick with Faust. I did review the Hansel Orlok, and that was kind of interesting. In terms of scary, I guess Hunchback, like, I want to go Lon Chaney, but, like, I don't know, what was the one he did? The Man Who Laughs, that's probably good. I really have to look through, because I've seen a lot of sound films, but I could probably describe them, but, like, the Lon Chaney, isn't there one where he's, like, in a circus or something? One of those. I'm just going to say The Man Who Laughs. I think that's the one that's, like, an influence on the Joker. Maybe that one. Or Faust. Faust is pretty good. Austin, why is there so much Pepsi in Madame Web? What's the tie-in with the... Okay, I will clarify this. The sign is a real, like, New York landmark. It's just, like, I think only people who live in New York care about it. But it's, like, if you went to Queens, it's, like, a park around it. Like, that's actually there. But with the cans and stuff, I don't know. That I find that odd. Like, did they have to... Everyone's like, is it a contractual thing? I don't know. But the sign at the thing is a real thing. It kind of bugs me when people are like... And they had an ad at the end. I'm like, bitch, that's a landmark. Come on. I know it's not the Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, or like it's like 48th on the landmarks in the city and stuff. But still, it is one. Same bars have the mass streaming services delisting ultimately been worth it because Teen Titans Go is not off of Max? Have we finally won the war? Is not off of Max? I guess we have. I don't know what Max is doing. Jesus, what a mess. Cornbread question. Nosferatu has already outgrossed Kraven the Hunter and it's only been out for a little over a week. Should Sony take this to heart and think vampires are back and make Morbius 2? Absolutely, Cornbread. Morbius 2 should be greenlit right now. Nathaniel Fogel, what do you consider the most January movie ever? You know what? I don't know if it came out in January or not, but I'm gonna say Green Hornet with Seth Rogen. Because everybody thought, oh, this will work out. Zane Powers, are you excited for Jared Leto playing Skeletor in the last universe? No, I don't know why they're letting him do that. Thoughts on the new Tom and Jerry movie that was nuts? I think I talked about it before, but if they don't talk, it'll be great. Cornbread, also, how has Nosferatu made so much money that they didn't even release any trailers for it? I know, it's crazy. I guess word of mouth. Austin, I like when you guys bring back jokes. I was like, yeah. Austin, have you ever seen a fight during a movie? I bet you wish people fought during The Devil Inside. Well, people fought with the screen on The Devil Inside. I think I've told this story before. I saw the Warriors in Baltimore, and there was like a gang fight. And supposedly, my friends, and he backed me up recently, said that a bottle went right by my head. I don't remember this, but he said it happened. And then they all got kicked out. It was at the beginning when Osiris was speaking. Everybody got kicked out except for me and my friends. It was like a 10-person screening of the Warriors. So that's the only one I've heard. I heard there was a fight at the theater I used to go to during its like kind of big last screening, but I didn't get to go. I wish I'd gone to the last time. R.I.P. Regal Court Street. Same Powers, who's a director people claim is always a hack that you think they're not giving enough credit for, and who should they be actually saying about them? Who should they be saying about the set? Okay. I don't know. I keep hearing people shit on M. Night, and I'm like, leave that guy alone. Like, he's clearly like, I don't really think he's a hack. Who is a hack? Probably like the Fairley Brothers at this point. Like, they had that great run in the 90s, but yeesh. I don't know. I don't really like Michael Bateman. I don't want to say he's a hack because he is something. Oh, you know what? Who's a hack? Whoever directed Red Notice, who directs all those rock movies. That's a fucking hack. Favorite character actor? Maybe Keith David. Probably Keith David. I guess he is a character actor, but wait, where did we? Aren't we all beyond Thunderdome? Nice. Question. Once Nolan, Scorsese, and all the older Hollywood guys, will we be doomed and filled with nothing but skibbity and Riz? Probably. Question. What would you do for all the Nuki? I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look that up. You guys are all surprising me with this. I get it. I did Limp Bizkit. I saw that clip from Y2K and Fred Durst is in it, and I was like, man, Y2K would have the second best Fred Durst role in a movie. Like, it's like so dumb. I'm sure he would do it, but he's supposedly a nice guy. Why do so many people shit on Imagine Dragons? Why are they so popular if they are that bad? Because people have bad taste, bro. Ratboy Mickey, are you ready for the Dogman movie? I am. I'm actually excited for that. I was talking to my kids about that today. Okay, question. Ratboy Mickey, are you ready for the Superman Legacy? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but I'm curious. I think I'm ready. Same Powers, if you think about doing a horrible crime, but do it in the Joker voice, does that make it okay because you have a super sane view of society? Yeah, I guess it does. I finally saw Joker 2, and I need to shoot a review of that. I don't know. Is Kevin James the next box office titan? Maybe if it was 2011. Ratboy Mickey, if you could hang out for Max Rebo, what would you do? With Max Rebo, I would play some music. It'd be cool. We'd chill, play some tunes. Lucas Anderson, who do you think should voice the credits scene new character in Sonic 4? That might be a daily question when more people have seen that. I don't have an idea, to be perfectly honest with you. Black Sea Oxenwinkle, did you do a New Year's meal? I do my family's traditional pork sauerkraut and dumplings on the eve and appetizers on the days. We don't really do that, but when I was a kid, my grandparents would come over for lunch every New Year's Day. So I guess we had that. I don't really have that now, though. Zane Powers, between the Hoopers news and Netflix thing, I saw people claiming this is the death. Hoopers news? I don't know what you're talking. Media literacy, do you agree, especially with the Netflix thing? I think I don't know. Netflix just feels like its own like bullshit thing over here. I don't know what's going on with Netflix, but it doesn't feel good right now. I think there is more media literacy than there used to, but question, you think Tron Ares will actually make Tron happen for Disney? Probably not, but I think they need to because they do have a few rides overseas, so it's sort of like brand maintenance, to be honest with you. Zane Powers, all the streaming services just reviving all these old shows. Why do they only do the boring revivals and not go for the cool ones? I know, right? Why isn't Alf back? I don't know. They're not really good at revivals anymore, to be honest. Okay, I'm sort of... Okay, what's that, A.G. Miller? Jeez. Cornbread, what's the next word title with Red in it that Joey Manchin will be in with some loser from Marvel? We've had Red Notice, Red One. When are we going to complete the trilogy? I feel like probably. He seems to like the title. Embla T, you think Robert Eggers will ever remake Faust or even the Brian Yuza film Faust, Love of the Damned? I bet he'd do a good Faust, to be honest with you. I don't think you should just stuck with Murnau. I think he's done one. You did your one. Go do something else. Same Powers. Do the people who not like the Robotnik's dancing singing Sonic just cowards? They don't? I thought they... And they use that... that Chemical Brothers song with Q-Tip, which I feel like nobody remember. I like that. You see it in ads, but anyway. Remember the grilled cheese incident? No. Can you adopt me? I'm 24 and unemployed. No, I'm sorry. I have nothing. How will you rate Mufasa? Boom or doom? I don't know if I'll see Mufasa or not. I'm kind of... Anyway. Zane Powers, do you agree with Tarantino that Joker 2 is actually really good? Not to spoil anything, but no, I don't know what the fuck people's deal is with that. I get it. It's different, so it's good. You're cool. Embellity, my dog couldn't shut up. What should I do to her? Take her for a walk or feed her maybe? I don't know. Curbred, why are all these movies that are entering the public domain all black and white? What happened to all their colors? Did someone steal them? What's up with that? There's actually a few color there's a few color shorts actually, so that's not correct. But yeah, soon we will have that. Yeah, I like the Galvanized. I don't know, that's a cool song. Anyway, all right, I think it is time to go. It's been a good show tonight. Thank you for being. Sorry we went sort of late. I don't think we went too long or anything really. But anyway, I have some stuff to do. Oh, cool. I like the Chemical Brothers, so I like Barry Jenkins. That's probably the only reason I'm seriously thinking about. I'm seriously thinking about seeing Mufasa as him. But I will say I didn't even like when Aaron Pierre did that dance and people were saying Mufasa and I shared it. I really forgot he was in that movie. And I think I knew it before. It was like the best ad I'd seen, and I was like, why? Man, that's the one thing. Like Sonic 3 really brought it in the ads, and Mufasa just like... Anyway. Alright, I will see you all, I believe, next week, probably Thursday, we'll see. The next video will be the wrong trousers, I hope. I hope you all have a great weekend. Catch up on some movies and all that stuff. Thank you for everyone who gave a super chat, which was Mads Mikkelsen is the White Lion. I didn't even know that. Jesus. Is your movie sucks gonna make a video about like the White Lion thing? I'm just like, he really is into that. All right, I want to thank Austin, Taco Master, Zane Powers, Austin, okay, Zane Powers, Nathaniel Foga, Zane Powers, William Ellen, Zane Powers, William Ellen, Black Sea Oxenwinkle, William Ellman, and I think Austin again. Anyway, I got lost in there. But thank you all for your super chats during the show. I very much appreciate it. But yeah, have a good night all. I hope to see you next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And subscribe if you would like to. And thank you very much. Have a good night. And I'll see you next time. All right, cool. Bye.